Good morning, and thank you for joining us again today with our webinar series, Learn and Level Up, where we look to just provide some business insights and some information around some of the key technologies that are enabling digital transformation within businesses today. We've gone and talked through sort of network and security and network visibility in various forms in some of the earlier webinars, which, by the way, are fully available via our website. But this morning we're here to talk about particularly the Cisco Meraki product set, around how we can help organisations through driving through business intelligence and insights from the network as sensors, and how we can look to sort of try and drive business engagement with your customers. So this morning we're just going to talk through our sort of offering from a Cisco Meraki perspective, and how hopefully we can aid your organisation just gather that bit of more insight. So again, this morning it's myself, Andrew Fox, from Trust Systems. The presentation is in partnership with our colleagues at Cisco, and will be available via our website for you to tune into and digest at your will. And ultimately, we'd love to have further engagement with yourselves if any of the above topics look to provide some potential value to your organisations. So, in terms of just to reiterate the purpose of today's session, it's a bit of an introduction into customer network analytics and how those analytics can drive business insight and therefore provide business value. We're going to do an overview really of that Meraki stack. That's going to be including the MRs, the access points, the MVs, the cameras, and we're going to do a little dive into some of the IoT sensors, the MTs that are now available within the marketplace, and really looking at not only just the Meraki technology itself, but within that powerful Meraki ecosystem of how we can look at utilising some of the third-party applications and bits of software that can plug into and provide overlay capability on top of some of that Meraki infrastructure to again provide that next layer of granular information, the next layer of insight that can offer additional benefits to your organisation. So we're going to be going through network analytics, customer insights, and as I mentioned, we're going to be covering the MRs, the cameras, the MRs, the access points, the MVs, the cameras, and the MTs, the sensors. We're not going to be going to full detail around the actual technology itself, because you'll appreciate those topics themselves are very expansive. We're just going to really look at some of the, like I say, the insights, and we're happy to dive into more detail with any individual customers at any point in time. Okay, so what is the sort of the real exam question that we're seeing a lot of our customers, particularly in retail, hospitality, leisure environments, where they're looking at how they can use the technology to really tackle some of the key business issues that they are facing today. And that's very much centered around how they can increase customer engagement. And that's how can they understand more information around their customers, who they are, who the targets are, demographics, to again just help that engagement. That in turn looks to sort of help and improve brand loyalty. And how can you use technology and engagement and an improved engagement strategy to get a more loyal customer, ultimately resolving in repeat visits, and ultimately giving better targeting information and offers to those customers. All of these elements are looking again, how can you within the business provide operational improvements. Some of those operational improvements are down to improved processes through digital transformation, gaining access to that data, gaining access to that information in a more real-time digital manner, and we'll cover that off as we go through. But actually, it's looking at operational improvements around some of your staff, some of your business processes within your retail store or within your hotel or leisure facility. You know, people are a very expensive cost, a big element of your cost. So how can we maximise their time within a store, looking to try and improve that engagement? So there's ways in which the technology can help support that. Ultimately, it's trying to deliver an exceptional customer journey, and that's a customer journey across an omni-channel experience, whether that's in store, whether that's online, trying to bring that data together to provide, again, an exceptional experience that meets the customer's requirements, that's going to help drive ultimately that brand loyalty. And the next point on the slide is around increased revenue and ultimately increase secondary spend. And all of these areas, as we're discussing, yes, we're looking to drive revenue up. Yes, we're trying to increase footfall from the customers. But ultimately, how can we use the technology to drive not only operational improvements, but ultimately improve cost savings across the organisation? We know we're seeing price rises left, right, and centre through fuel prices, which are having an impact to organisations through the supply chain. So how can the technology again just deliver back some cost saving benefits to the organisation? Okay, well, starting to look at the Meraki Insights themselves, and again, just looking at some of the business justifications behind that. Clearly, we've seen a rapid adoption of mobile devices from a customer perspective, but equally from an internal point of view as well. And this is helping us deliver and gain insight through footfall, traffic patterns, and behavioural and behaviours from customers within a retail and hospitality venue. And we can use that smartphone technology by harnessing into both wireless and Bluetooth technology within store to try and gather and detect those presence of customers through the Wi-Fi access points and through the MV cameras. And that is then going to drive some of that location information that can help understand engagement and optimize marketing strategies within organizations. All of this information from a Meraki perspective can obviously be accessed through their portal. So it's about gathering the information and then giving it back to you as a business in bite-sized chunks, in reports and data that become meaningful to yourselves. And that's clearly where a lot of the value is coming from a Meraki perspective, is looking at that Meraki ecosystem, layering up information and insight to deliver back better meaning to your organisation. Okay, so here within Trust Systems, we are independent, and we look to work with best of breed, hence why we choose to work with Cisco and Meraki, particularly for this solution. We are looking outside of just the Meraki stack at looking at some of those software and third-party applications that we can layer on top of the Meraki solution to deliver enhanced value. So as I mentioned, we're going to be looking at the access points, some of those software and how they can come together. So within our experience of dealing with customers, we know one size doesn't fit all. There isn't a single solution that's going to be cookie cutter for every single business. But we've tried to simplify our approach to providing that customer insight into three simple buckets, very aptly named bronze, silver and gold, where we can offer the customer a layering approach to providing that information and insight at the right price points, at the right level of granular information that's required for your business, to again deliver the right outcome, whether that's pure insight information, whether it's operational improvements, cost savings, it's about what's the value that can be given back. So here we're going to talk through the main components of our bronze, silver, gold offering. Bronze is very much looking at the Meraki access points, VMRs, and looking at the insight and dashboard that's available through the Meraki portal. Silver is taking bronze on a next level, but looking at sort of a Cloud for Why customer guest access Wi-Fi splash page that can look to sort of engage and provide further insight for your customer behavior. And then gold is looking at the access points plus actually the Meraki cameras and an further overlay sort of package there from VApp, which is giving you again a more granular level of information and insight driven through some of the data from the Meraki smart cameras themselves. And yeah, like I say, we recognise not one size fits all, but we have a managed service wrap around each of these packages that we can help deliver some of that value back to organisations. Okay, so first off, looking at the MRs, looking at the network. Ultimately, as we mentioned earlier on in the deck, the MRs are the access points, so the network that are obviously being deployed to deliver the smart Wi-Fi within your locations. And ultimately, the network and the insight that be driven from those access points can be used to provide sort of insight and information around optimizing the performance of the network. And that's very much to make sure that your guest and critical business applications are all being delivered. So ultimately, the network is there to deliver the right business outcomes. So you want to make sure that the business critical applications are being delivered on time and on and real time, such as credit card payments, etc. Guest information and download of YouTube, might not necessarily be business critical. Therefore, having that insight across the network means that actually at a base level you can control that through the Meraki dashboard. Again, if you're providing a Wi-Fi network, it's important to understand that network's up and available, and we can put notification and resolution thresholds within the dashboard. That again is just becoming more meaningful, making sure that that baseline network is stable to deliver and provide that connectivity layer out to customers. And further, we can use the analytics from the dashboard to help identify threats and anomalies. To give you, faster root cause analysis, pinpointing the problems to help deploy fixes as quickly as we possibly can across the network. And this is really talking about the foundation of the network from the MRs within your organisation, then to allow further devices to connect into that network. So within the MR and the Wi-Fi capabilities, as we are allowing more devices to be detected by the access points themselves, so using the location analytics, we can actually then start to understand the total number of clients that are detected, and their client as in devices, and how many of those have connected to the access points through their proximity, through signal strength, and we can start to sort of gather some basic location analytics around visitor dwell time, repeat frequency of visits. So how many times has that device is either walked past that access point, connected to that access point? Are those devices known to you? All of these analytics are helping to sort of look at the trends within your business. So who is who's coming into your location? What are the peak times, so you can optimize staffing, making sure that you've got the right level of staffing at certain peak times in your organization to deliver the right level of customer experience and service to your end customers. We can use some of that data and analytics to then compare compare against external KPIs to look at average spend per user, average spend per site, which again is just driving some baseline analytics for trending, for some potential weekly or seasonal fluctuations that you might see across your business. Key to delivering a sort of an exceptional customer journey is often looking at heat maps. So understanding that the trends of how customers flow through your buildings is really important for price and for promotional activity. Understanding where the majority of your customers walk and flow might then influence where you might position your staff, position your offers, to make sure again you're getting the maximum value within the floor plan that is provided. As well, with looking at sort of outdoor antennas, you can look to see how many guests are actually passing by your front door versus actually those that are coming into your store. So you might want to think about further sort of enhancements within your digital strategy around digital media, digital screens that can again offer enhanced level of price and promotion to try and attract people into your stores. But as a very base level, within the Meraki dashboard, we can provide heat maps that give you that insight on a per day, per month basis, where you can look at that trending of activity of individuals that are connecting to the network across your floor plan. Bear with me a second. So that then, so we've talked there through the basic network from a Meraki access point perspective. We've talked about some of the location analytics and heat maps that then are provided out of the box from a Meraki perspective. We then look to offer piece of software that is a license that sits on top of the Meraki MRs and provides a captive portal and effectively guest Wi-Fi management for your users. So not only are you then gathering data from the Meraki access point of how many devices that have connected, here you're then looking to engage really from a customer loyalty point of view by encouraging people to come onto a fully customized Wi-Fi onboarding process to capture their name, their potentially credentials through Facebook or LinkedIn, depending on how you're looking to onboard those individuals. But you can then get that next layer of information around specific customers that are visiting your store. Obviously linking that ideally back to your customer loyalty program and some of your retail analytics about spend and trending. You'll then start to build up a very strong picture of customers, not only their on-site behavioural metrics, but equally some of that more personal shopper information through your loyalty program. But here, through the Cloud for Why, we can detect and deliver real-time messaging to customers that have connected, and that gives you the ability to again offer price and promotion sort of activity to specific target customers based on trending information that either you know about them or particular information that you want to convey to that particular shopper or buyer at that particular time. Using that trending information, again, you can have a look at some of the stats around a peak flow of activity from a store or from an estate perspective. You can look at the busiest time of days, the types of phones and individuals that are connecting to your network, which really is a fantastic then additional overlay to not only some of that guest insight that you'll get from that customizable portal, but then that insight that you can drive again operational improvements to make sure that you've got the right people in the buildings to support the customer engagement, to make sure the tills are available, to make sure that you've got the right number of floor walkers to facilitate the customers that are coming through. So hopefully you can see there how the Cloud for Why is a very simple level can offer that further connection into the customers, particularly from a customer loyalty perspective to help drive some of that analytics information. Furthermore, we then will look at really starting to move into the camera arena. We provide and work with Meraki from an MV camera perspective, and that's twofold. One, to provide them as a physical security solution that can displace or replace existing CCTVs within your location and building for loss prevention, for compliance, for health and safety reasons. But the MV smart cameras are really that next generation of digital technology that is providing additional value through access to real-time content, to offer sort of that secure encryption across the network, to enable you to view that data, to view those alerts real time from anywhere, which again is a far better and improved solution than you'll find with a lot of traditional CCTV cameras, where a lot of the information is stored on a PC or on a camera that requires individuals to go and access that data on site through plugging in computers or USB-sticks to access. That they'll often find that you'll be spooling through sort of hours and hours worth of data, through hours worth of film, to actually understand or find the piece of information that you're or the visuals that you're looking for. Through the smart technology within the cameras, you can access that remotely through any camera within your estate. You can gain alerts real time, and you can use the motion analytics to detect and pinpoint when something has happened, when an event has happened within your estate, really speeding up that process of having to spool through hours and hours of film, where here you'll get event logs that you can then access that data real time to see the event. So from a physical camera perspective, they offer an enhanced value to a lot of your traditional CCTV cameras, and then on top of providing that motion analytics, detection, people detection, vehicle detection, audio analytics as well, that then can help drive some of that other information through some of operational performances improvements that we've suggested through this talk. And here, just as a bit of a visual without diving into a demo, this is the type of data that you can access via the Meraki Vision portal. You can set up alerts for when for example, a person or a vehicle might come into a particular frame. That will then send an alert to the respondents to give you easy access into that information, and it's available real time via the Meraki mobile application and via the Meraki Vision portal. Really sort of capturing data real time to give you access to respond, access on any device, anywhere, and respond in real time. Again, further information here about some of the Meraki cameras, where you've got some of the inbuilt analytics that are available through the Meraki cameras, providing you enhanced heat maps, understanding motion and hotspots across your estate. Again, this can be overlaid with the Meraki MR heat maps that you can gather via, as we discussed earlier. But this is information that can stand alone within the cameras to identify hotspots and patterns and trendings over a day or over a particular time period. You can indeed, as I mentioned earlier on the previous slide, detect certain types of activity, whether it's people's or vehicles that are in the view of the cameras, and provide that notification back to your operational staff. And if through the Meraki smart sensor, it can also detect noise. So if there was, for example, an alarm that was going off in a particular location, you could set a trigger the particular alert or siren as a notification back against your operational staff. So that might be of relevance to you, early hours of the morning when an alarm is going off. The camera will detect that noise and pass that information through to your operational teams. So on top of the information that we can get from the camera as a standard, we then look at a further application called VApp, which again is really where we're starting to use the power of that smart technology within the camera to then capture information that we can push up into a very usable interface and piece of software through VApp. Very similar to what we were talking earlier about from a Cloud for Y that was built on the Meraki MR technology. The VApp piece of software actually provides further AI and customer analysis through the Meraki cameras. So here we're taking information that will provide particular importance to retail and hospitality staff. When you're looking to understand your customer and who they are, we can provide further insight around age recognition. A bit like well, obviously when I walk into a room, it's going to tell you that it's a 45-year-old bald man, but it can give you some information back around estimation of age, years, and equally around sort of gender identification as well. So you can also take that further data to understand, from the camera, what is the mood of that individual, so you can have that emotional analysis as well. So you've got three really powerful bits of information that you can take from the camera. You've got without somebody logging on, you can understand age recognition, gender identification, and emotion analysis. Three fantastic bits of information that will be very valuable to understanding customer journey and improve loyalty within your target demographics. The VApp technology, as I said, sits on the Meraki cameras. It's cloud-based technology and is accessed securely remotely. Very scalable, completely available from a multi-tenancy point of view, so we can look at single clients or multiple clients, single sites, multiple sites, and look to sort of feed that information and gather trending information across that estate. It's fully API integration as well, so we can look at providing tasks and flows into other systems within your business. And there are powerful machine learning capabilities within the Meraki cameras and the VApp. So looking at detecting if somebody is wearing a high-vis jacket, for example, if somebody is wearing a face mask, and those powerful machine learning analytics can provide, again, further insight and benefit to your business from an operational health and safety compliance perspective, as well as keeping people safe. Understanding if people are walking in with a baseball bat or a gun, if you're in a hospitality environment or in a dangerous environment, understanding some of that powerful sort of analytic information has got some good use case. And hopefully that gives you a bit of a flavour as to sort of how the VApp analytical information can provide, again, enhanced information on top of the Meraki cameras. The final area I'm going to cover today is the Meraki IoT Sensors. And this is, again, just an enhancement of how you can use technology to gain further insight and information from your operational buildings to provide better value or insight into your organization. So the MT sensors, they're IoT sensors that can sit on the network through Bluetooth technology, being accessed via the gateways, the Bluetooth gateways being the MRs or the MVs. These sensors can sit as part of your network, trying to gather environmental information, so temperature, and whether there's moisture. They're obviously very suitable for data centers, but equally have got relevance within a retail environment, in fridges, in cold aisles, to gather that information and data, setting alerts for when particular thresholds may have been breached. These smart sensors can be used to understand if doors have been left open, if people are accessing particular secure areas, if a vehicle has driven into a particular car parking bay. These analytics informations through the IoT sensors are there and available for you to take control of that environment, to understand and monitor the environment that you're working within, to provide hopefully an improved operational environment for your customers and for your business. And ultimately, sustainability is a big area of concern for most organisations. So how can you take that data to drive and provide not only cost savings, but an improved environmental and reduced energy consumption to drive and deliver against some of your business's green initiatives? And just very simply, as I mentioned, as part of that previous slide, the MT sensors themselves sit part of the network and are accessed via the gateways that are the MRs and MVs within your network, and connect via Bluetooth, and all that data and powerful information is again delivered back to the Meraki dashboard. So I've gone through a lot of information there this morning, but this is designed to just deliver a bit of a flavour of the key components from a network perspective and from a software point of view that we can help shape and deliver some additional value around customer insight to deliver that exceptional customer journey within your stores. So, as I mentioned, we've got experience of delivering the Meraki suite of products, and as a managed service provider, we have an enhanced sort of capability from a 24/7 perspective to deliver that managed service back to your organisation to keep the business operational and delivering powerful information back to your organisation. We've, through working with our clients, we have delivered the bronze, silver, gold solution stack, and we're very happily talk to yourselves in further detail to understand and show the power of the Meraki ecosystem and how it can deliver back to your organisation enhanced value and, critically, customer analytics and insights. So thank you for joining us today for the webinar session. As I mentioned previously, this content, as with other content that we've produced, is available to watch via our website. And if any of today's session has struck a chord with you, then I'd very welcome a secondary conversation. Please don't hesitate to contact me at andrew.fox@trustsystems.co.uk. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.